Thank you guys for joining us once again for another A&B Convos Wrestling Edition. Really big news right now, so as you know, that was a shout out to one of
That is a shout out.
That's a shout out to somebody we follow, another wrestling person on YouTube.
Yeah, shout out to Heel.
Thank you guys. And action.
This is an A&B Combos Wrestling Edition special report.
Thank you guys for joining the episode of A&B Combos Wrestling Edition. Big news in the wrestling world today.
It's huge.
And I don't know how I feel about it.
Dang, did you get news somebody died? Because I just got news that somebody gave notice.
Yeah, it's like I'm watching an episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh no, that's
It's so hard to say goodbye to Renee Young. Man, Renee Young has given notice. Bone Crusher, how do you feel about that? I don't know what Bone Crusher is doing right now. Scamp! Okay, so Renee Young has in fact given notice to the WWE. When she is in fact leaving, no one really knows. It's suspected that SummerSlam might be her last taping with the company. Your thoughts?
Man, it's really interesting because there's a part of me that thought, what took so long? Like, I know that she had opportunities at WWE, and I feel like it kind of almost would have been too AJ Lee to just leave because your man left. I know. You're not gonna. Don't break down our set. Yes, so I don't know. It's, for me, I kind of thought it was interesting. I didn't know how long. I mean, right now they're both filming in Florida, but if one or the other starts to go on the road, I kind of suspected that ultimately that maybe she would want to step that way. Now, she had a lot going on in the WWE, but then COVID shut down backstage, and it was like
COVID ratings, call it what you will. I thought it was a really good idea. I thought backstage was a really good idea, but it wasn't, in my opinion, executed properly. It is what it is. I just think it's really a question of there's not enough for her to do. And truth be told, you cannot possibly tell me. We know she's got some other things in the works, a cookbook, a podcast, but are you going to tell me AEW hasn't been, speaking of cookbook,
right?
There's a little paprika. Oh, you need a little.
You need a little paprika.
A little Himalayan sea salt. Come on now. COVID-19.
Now I gotta try not to sneeze again so that you don't get to do that 3 times in a row. Okay, you should sneeze.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying that I wouldn't be surprised, and if she did in fact join her husband on AEW, I think it would be kind of like Dasha Fuentes, who is no longer Dasha Fuentes, but she is on AEW, and she's actually going to be getting into the ring. She's been doing some dark matches. I'm not saying Renee Young is going to get into the ring,
right?
But this seriously is the Monday Night Wars all over again.
And the bottom line is AEW has a better product right now, and disputably, but they're a match for sure. There are weeks that go like this, but I just think that there's no reason to be divided against your husband. Go do your thing.
Well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. We already know that there are some other people who are on WWE and AEW contracts. It is what it is. I don't know. I mean,
I follow you through it.
Well, I know you would. And thank you very much for following me anywhere I go, including into the gates of hell.
What? You need me to. You need me. Mom?
What? Stone Cold. That was really good. So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens ultimately, but this is, I think it's really big news. I think it's a huge blow for WWE. Will they get past it? Yes. Are there other interviewers? Yes. But just like any WWE superstar, you have that je ne sais quoi, that certain something that not just any interviewer has. Renee Young had that. She was also featured on Total Divas. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big deal. Maybe, kind of like you had said before, maybe WWE felt some type of way when, you know, there was a cross breeding with Jon Moxley and when she was filming. I don't know. If that were the case, a little shallow. I
think WWE is being very shallow. I think that they are, if you're upset that she has her husband on the show or mentioned on the show or whatever, pop up on the show for a minute, it's a sports show. You're acknowledging that professional wrestling is sports, and because it's your competitor, they shouldn't be on there. That's like having a show about football, but you only want your own team. You have got to get out of that. There it is okay to have competition. It is doing you well, actually. I think they probably are doing better than they did when people weren't comparing the two and trying to see what else come up with NXT.
Well, they're about to shoot in the Thunderdome. Thunderdome! So let's see what WWE comes up with. Let us know what you think in the comments below. How do you feel about Renee Young leaving WWE? Do you think it has anything to do with Jon Moxley and AEW? Please let us know.
Yes, and we have a quote from Paul Heyman, Triple H, and even CM Punk about how they feel about Renee Young leaving.
Which says a lot. I mean, it really just, I mean, take a look at this. It really speaks to the professionalism, but how you feel about the person in general. Because if it was somebody that just wasn't very good at their job, wasn't a very good interviewer or whatever, you know, good luck, good riddance, good luck in your future endeavors. That's not the case here. I really feel this is going to leave a hole in WWE that eventually they will be able to fill, like any of the big names. You always think, how can we possibly recover? You do, eventually, but you're in a fight, man. You are in a fight right now. AEW is coming out the gate swinging like Mike Tyson on something.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so, and do not forget to hit the little notification bell.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of A&B Convos
Wrestling Edition.
We will see you
down the road.
And at SummerSlam.
Slop it on the biscuit.
It's sop it with a biscuit. Sop it with a biscuit. You know what? That's gonna catch. It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit.
It doesn't make sense.
Thank you guys.
This has been an A&B Combos Wrestling Edition special report.